In Japanese internet culture, there is a recurring rumor about a place called Inaki. The stories describe an isolated settlement deep in the mountains, completely erased from official maps, where the national constitution allegedly does not apply. Like most urban legends, it remained a digital ghost story until two university students decided to broadcast a live stream of themselves climbing over the rusted barricades of the forbidden Inunaki Tunnel. The broadcast captured the cold, wet interior of the tunnel. Then, the feed shattered by static, freezing for a fraction of a second on a blurry figure standing perfectly still in a white kimono. The internet reacted exactly as you would expect. Forums and social media channels immediately dissected the footage, analyzing hidden audio on forums, a student film project, or fake paranormal content. Dismissing the event as a supernatural hoax gave the viewers a sense of safety. It also provided perfect cover for the people actually operating inside the mountain, ensuring no real investigation would follow the sudden disappearance of the two students. Tokyo moves with relentless momentum. It is a city that never stops to look backward, which makes it the perfect hiding place for Detective Kazuya Shindo, a man consumed by profound insomnia and hollowed out by his own past. Shindo has spent the last 27 years quietly obsessing over a single unsolved case. Nearly 3 decades ago, his younger sister vanished without a trace while traveling near the Fukuoka prefecture, specifically the forests bordering Inunaki. When fragments of the student's live stream reached the Metropolitan Police Department, Shindo isolated the final corrupted frames. He slowed the footage down, zooming in through the digital artifacts to examine the motionless figure in the tunnel. Hanging from the figure's neck was a tiny, distinctively shaped fox charm. It was the exact piece of jewelry his sister was wearing on the morning she disappeared. The footage was entirely devoid of ghosts. Instead, it provided undeniable, time-stamped proof of a physical kidnapping operation that had been functioning for generations. The GPS metadata from the student's final upload leads directly into the dense, rain-battered cedar forests of Fukuoka. Down in the surrounding townships, the locals refuse to discuss the region, casting their eyes to the ground at the mere mention of the valley. Hidden off the main path, rotting wooden stairs lead to an abandoned forest shrine. Nailed to its interior beams are hundreds of decaying photographs, faces of missing people spanning several decades of unsolved police files. This 1950s topographic map of the Fukuoka Mountains proves a geographical anomaly exists. It clearly shows a clustered village built deep within the valley. But looking at modern geographic records of the exact coordinates, the settlement is scrubbed from existence, leaving only empty forest. Digging through the local precinct's sealed archives uncovers classified police interrogation tapes from the 1980s. These analog recordings feature severely traumatized survivors, describing a secretive community that physically shifts its location to avoid detection. The total erasure of a permanent settlement requires systematic institutional effort, an intentional deletion from the physical and administrative landscape. Beneath the mountain, an entire secondary infrastructure sits rotting in the dark. Investigators breaching the hidden network find concrete tunnels opening into vast chambers, filled with rusted medical restraints and cinder block walls covered in thousands of frantic tally marks. Scattered among the debris are boxes of analog videotapes. Each cassette is carefully labeled with a specific date, dates that perfectly align with the timelines of high-profile missing person cases. While post-war Japan was rapidly rebuilding its economy and presenting a flawless image to the globe, authorities quietly disposed of citizens who did not fit the new societal mold. Mentally ill patients, isolated violent families, and criminal refugees were trucked into these mountains and abandoned. Cut off from all state infrastructure, these exiles bred and survived in the dark. Over generations, they developed their own brutal societal norms, eventually hunting and abducting outsiders simply to sustain their population. The terrifying monsters described in the internet forums are entirely human. They are the generational victims of a state-sanctioned human rights atrocity, forced into barbarism by the very country that discarded them. Emerging from the labyrinth of tunnels reveals the hidden valley itself. It is a sprawling, silent shantytown populated by hundreds of forgotten residents staring out from the windows of dilapidated wooden structures. Among the faces in the mud, Shindo finally locates his sister. She is older and psychologically fractured. She refuses to leave the children she's raised here, seeing the rescue mission as just another violent intrusion from the state that abandoned her 27 years ago. Before any official report can be filed, heavily armed government tactical units pierce the thick forest fog. They operate under a strict no survivors protocol, initiating a systematic slaughter of the valley's inhabitants. The operation is swift and absolute. Tactical teams incinerate the remaining wooden structures and plant heavy explosives deep within the mountain, permanently collapsing the entrance to the Inunaki Tunnel beneath tons of rock. By weaponizing fire, by weaponizing rebel, and carefully planted press releases, the authorities successfully clean up their decades-old mess, compressing a massive historical crime back down into a harmless ghost story. Within days, national broadcasters report that a minor seismic event caused the tunnel to collapse, neatly debunking the online rumors of a hidden village. The internet consumes the explanation, and the public moves on to the next trending topic. Months later, Shindo rides silently through the heart of Tokyo. In his bag rests the single surviving VHS tape recovered from the ruins, the only remaining physical proof of the settlement's existence. He never uploads the footage. He watches the commuters scrolling through their phones, understanding that even if presented with undeniable evidence of a massacre, the citizens would actively choose the comfort of their daily routines over the horror of the truth. A cover-up doesn't require a conspiracy when the public prefers the safety of a myth. The people on these trains are choosing to forget everyone who doesn't belong in their version of the world.